Oh, great morning. This is, what do I call this? Shingles update. The great shingles update. Anyway, it's, as you can see, it's really spread. It's all the way down to my shoulder, to my armpit, all the way down to here. Got one here. Now, what's really weird, and the reason I'm making this, is because in my tattoo, if you could feel this, there are hundreds of little bitty bumps underneath of it. Yeah. Now, they haven't come out in, the rash like this, but you can just feel hundreds of these little bumps underneath. So I'm not sure what it's going to do there or not. But yeah, it started out here. It started out here, and it's, all the way down to the back. As you can see, it's quite red. The one I noticed first was here, which you can see it's now having the blistering. Okay, so this is where it started. Here, my jaw, it's swollen here. The lymph nodes are swollen from it. Then it started traveling down the neck. Okay, then next it started traveling down my chest. As you can see, it's very red. It's all the way down on my chest now, and has yeah, I got a severe case of it, and has moved, okay, to my shoulder and down my arm here. And then, like I said, the weirdest thing, though, you can feel in my tattoo, hundreds of little bumps. Looks, yeah, a little swollen there. You can see it's maybe a little swollen. But yeah, no, last night I didn't sleep. My neck is so, I cannot find a position that's comfortable. It just makes your muscles here in your back and your neck just like, So there is no, I've tried my pillow, I've tried other pillows, I've tried, everything, and nothing has worked to be able to find a place to rest. I'm thinking I may have to get one of those, although I have nowhere I could put it. That's the problem with being in my little RV, there's only so much you can do in here. If I were in house, I could take some nice cooling oatmeal baths or something to, so I do use a lot of my thing here and wet it and to cool it down, because it was just absolutely hot, burning hot. So I have this is one thing I found that helps a lot. If you have shingles, get something that you can keep it cold compress, and when it's flaring and it's just hot, wet it and put it on there, and that does help to cool it down. Yeah, the worst thing with it, having it on your neck like this, you cannot move your head well. And it's just, like I said, at first it was, before the things appeared, it was about a week or so, I'm feeling like, my neck, now I have arthritis as well in my spine, and sometimes the upper axis here, because of the arthritis and the breakdown of the bone, sometimes it catches a nerve, and it's very painful, and you can't move your head. That's one reason. Another reason I cut my hair, I had it long, because being in here, every time I tried to wash my hair and I bend my head for it, it would catch, and I was just severe pain and couldn't, couldn't get it to release. Well, when the shingles started, before it manifested anything, before you see a rash or anything is coming up, for a few days before that, I was feeling like, I'm just, all my muscles here were just like really tight. And, I'm thinking, oh, I need a massage or something, because it was just really tight, painful, But then all the rash and things. And so I think it's the worst. I can feel it here in the back of my neck. It's like this. It's very, yeah, you can just feel all the bumps and that are coming up into those blisters. But then, it's been 2-3 days, and now yesterday is when it really started moving down to the chest area. It's just getting more extreme. It's getting more extreme day by day, hour by hour. Yeah. I noticed I had a few here yesterday and here. Okay. And then this morning, it's all the way down here. It's all the way here and on my shoulder and all the way down here. So yeah, really not fun. I did not sleep at all last night. And again, when I move my head, it just is searing pain. Then you have the other difficulty is you want to stay warm enough in here, but if I have the heater going and stuff, any heat that actually hits this just inflames it immediately. And you get that searing, sharp pain. So, yeah, you just try to figure out the best way to balance this stuff. You want to be warm enough that you're not freezing, but then again, if it gets too hot, it just really inflames it, and then you start feeling that the really extreme pain. That's when it really starts, you get that bursts of pain that goes through the whole nerve system. And now that I've got it going from here all the way down here, that's a lot of area to all of a sudden feel it flare up and just, yeah, it's kind of like being hit with a cattle prod, or a Portuguese man of war where you're getting stung like 100 times in a second, and it's just like electric feeling, electric burning, just yeah, it's painful. That's all you can say. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the thing with Jen and Johnny last night. I did tune in and watch it as much as I could focus on it, but I realized watching it that, yeah, it was the best thing that I didn't participate, because it's trying to keep my attention through that was not working as well as I would have liked. But anyway, this video is more for people that are having shingles. This is the reality of what you face. I happen to have it here. It's behind my ear as well. It's up here. And it can affect your hearing and stuff. Or people that, thank God I haven't gotten it in my eye or something, you can lose your sight. You can lose, it's just not something to play with. But again, the main thing is just getting through it, some things that will help with it. And the thing that I found so far that's helped the most is doing cold compresses, cold wet, cold moist compresses on it to cool it down, because you can feel it and it's like having a big fever. It gets very hot and inflamed, and then if anything other heat source touches it, it just really inflames it even more. So yeah, use a cold, make a cold compress of something, and that does help. I'm still trying to get some range of motion, but this, this gets like it feels like stiff. You get this, and it's like difficult to move. Some things are really affected. I found out if you sneeze, oh my God, it's instant shock and pain. Or if you have a big adrenaline rush in your body from something, or a startle effect. Like the other day I was driving and then something happened. It was some big noise or something that happened, a big startle effect. Then that again will cause that nerve zing. Yeah, startle effect, coughing, sneezing. Those are some things that will cause it to react. Yeah. The moment we're having rain here, I do like the sound of the rain. I am still, yesterday I had to put down my little dog Raj. So I did a memorial song for him. So you're sitting there trying to connect with the music and stuff in the midst of a lot of pain. So, yeah. But anyway, no, I've been very fortunate in that, yeah, isn't that crazy? It's almost like being out in the sun and you get a burn. Isn't that weird? Almost looks like a sunburn or something. So how long this lasts, I don't know. But right now I am taking my medicine, and then I'm also having to give Max medicine. Thank God I gave him this medicine last night. He took it really well, so I was lucky I didn't have to fight with him with it. But I have my, if you are having the, you get in there, if you're thinking you've got shingles, okay, it'll be very painful, and you'll see like a rash, and again, it's going to be very painful. Go have it checked. If it's just one side of the body, if it's on both sides, then it's not shingles. But shingles will only go to the midpoint and then be in a certain section of the body, one side or the other. In my case, it's affecting my left side, which has also caused a bit of heart pain as well. That's another thing I noticed before the shingles came up. I was having some pain, heart pain and stuff. And then, I think maybe it's the thing of that, having that come up, bunch of pain. And then again, the stress of my house is on sale, and then my dogs were both extremely ill immediately. So just a lot of stressors come up all at once, and I think that's what triggered it. Another thing I found out too about shingles. If you are an older person and you have shingles, it can predispose you more to heart attacks or stroke. Okay, so again, something to be aware of. And again, if you see that rash and that pain, get to a doctor, because you have to start the regimen of the antiviral medications within, I think I said 72 hours of getting the rash, or else it won't be effective at all. So if you have any sort of a question about it, please go in and get checked, because this is not something, if you don't get the antivirals, you can have pain like for years afterwards, even, residual pain, and it's just really, I think even with the antivirals, sometimes you can have residual pain. Okay. Yeah, so don't mess with it. If you have any sort of a question, go in to your doctor and get on the antivirals. Now, what I did with it is I took my phone, and you can go into your setting and you can set when you need to take your medications, okay? So it'll go, and when you finish, it'll turn off. Just go back in and turn it back on again so that you have this, because it's so important. So important to take it on time, okay? So important to take your medication on time. If you miss it and you're lax about it, it's not going to help. They said the antivirals, the viral type things are very difficult to manage and take care of. So please, make sure you have a system that you don't miss any of your medications. Okay. Let's see if there's something else I wanted to say about it. Oh yeah, I think one of the worst things with that is the headache. Oh my God, you just, extreme headache for days. It feels like a first attention headache, like you've got a band and like somebody's got you in one of those medieval torture devices where they just put it on and keep tightening it until your head cracks. Yeah, so the headache that goes with it is can be very intense as well as the shooting pains. So you have ongoing headaches. In here, it's feeling like the stiff neck and the whole thing is out on your axis up here, and then shooting pains. So yeah, that's the reality of having this. As well, if you have this and you try to not be around anyone that's pregnant or children, but if you have grandchildren, they've not had measles, do not pick them up, because if they touch anywhere on your rash and stuff, they can develop chicken pox. Okay? They say it's not airborne. Somebody has to come into contact with it. But just be aware of that. We don't want anyone, getting chicken pox and having to deal with that. So that's another thing. And I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else to say on this subject at the second. You're going to want to wear loose clothing. I can tell you that too. This is the loosest thing I have in here, so that's what I'm wearing today. You're not going to care about being fashion conscious, let me tell you that. All you're going to care about is relief and, try to make it as bearable as possible. Yeah. But doing the cold compresses help. It does help to start relieving things a bit. And again, it's just a matter of seeing what works, what doesn't work, and keeping a positive attitude that this is going to pass. It's not going to be there forever. Some people that get it as well go into severe depression, and it could cause a lot of problems with that too, because feels very devastating. I mean, it's just, you are in so much pain, and you've got to know what sets it off. Okay, like I said, strong emotion, big surge of adrenaline will set it off. Coughing, sneezing, things like that are, really, or a startled response those things all hit your nerves. So anything that's going to hit your nerves will cause this to just really flare and be very painful. Okay. So I think that's about the best advice I have now. They do have some medication that they can give you for pain, and but again, it's something you really need to watch, because there are some very reading through it, the side effects of that can be devastating. So you really have to watch it, and if you are finding that you're getting any type of a side effect, you need to talk with your doctor immediately. And the pain medication they give you, you have to build it up in your body. So you start out with one pill, and they started me out on a very low dosage, 100 milligram. Usually they start people like 300, so I'm on the lowest dosage. 100 milligram for 3 days. You take it at nighttime, bedtime. And after 3 days, you take one at bedtime, and then you take another one during the day. And I think they do that for, it's again another 2-3 days, because this builds up in your system. Okay, it's again not something you want to stop right away either, because you can have withdrawal from it. And then you go to 3 a day. You could take up to 3 a day, morning, noon, and night. And it keeps something in your system to help manage it. Okay. And you have to be aware of drug interactions. If you're taking any other medication, make sure they check that as well. So I think that's about it. Everything I have on dealing with shingles at the moment. I'm 4 days into this now. Oh my goodness. And I have quite a bit more to go, but we'll see. Yeah, step by step. I'm telling you, at this time, I wish I had a bathtub that I could go soak in for a while. But that's okay. We just do with what we can do. So anyway, thank you everyone, and anyone that's ever had shingles, feel for you. Yeah, this is not something I would wish on my worst enemy. Okay, so anyway, I don't have any enemies anyway. I can't hate anyone. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here, and thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and if you're going through shingles now as well, hang in. Hang in. This too will pass. Okay. So I'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great morning.